Today's episode is brought to you by the Sounds in Cinema podcast.
Everything sequel contains explicit language. And why the fudge not, you melon farmer?
Fest is Tom Stewart of Lonesome Whistle Productions. Hello, Tom.
I just love barbaric men. A little bit of Halloween 5 for you there.
That's fantastic.
God bless you, Tina.
Also reminds me of the phone call into Barry Sims in Halloween 6. What she says, like, oh, I just love him. He's so unkept or something like that. Great.
In the producer's cut, there's a caller who talks about Michael Myers being from space.
Yeah.
Which was a reference to the fact that John Carpenter's, ironic or not, original pitch for Halloween 6, when it looked like he was going to get the rights back, along with New Line Cinema, was Michael Myers goes into space.
Oh, wow.
So no one can tell if he's being serious or not.
They would have been ahead of the game for Jason.
And Machete in space, if indeed that ever happens. Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. That just
shows like John Carpenter possibly wanted to come back to the franchise to make
just to
Michael
put him in
Myers
outer space.
Yeah,
that's great. And terrible.
And terrible, yeah. He's not good in space. Carpenter is not good in space.
Right.
Oh, I guess Dark Star is the exception.
Yeah. I mean, Ghosts of Mars.
I'm thinking of Ghosts of Mars.
Yeah, come on. That's the one you're thinking of, right?
Yes, of course it is, yeah.
All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are here to pitch sequels. Tom.
Mike.
You alluded in our last episode, right?
Oh, did I?
You alluded to something.
I mentioned that there might be the possibility that we see Michael Myers have his day in court.
Oh, that's what it was. If you turn it into a courtroom drama, I'm gonna fall in love with you.
I didn't.
Damn it!
But that is not unrelated to my pitch.
Well, how did it go for you?
It was interesting. I don't think we've ever faced so many obstacles.
Yeah.
On a pitch sequel. I've referenced this before, but the book Taking Shape 2 is a 400-page book of just unmade, charting the history of unmade Halloween sequels.
Oh, wow.
So, this franchise already has a legacy of unmade sequels that we're adding to.
So I hope we get in that book, second edition.
Literally every avenue of this franchise has been explored.
Yeah.
So there's that, there's that to contend with. There's also Halloween: The Curse of Michael Myers and its producer's cut.
Right.
Because, and I actually think focusing on the theatrical cut helps us, because so much is left on the table.
Right.
In that movie not having an ending for us to pick up. Whereas if if we were following up from the producer's cut, you would once again be saddled with a lot of bullshit cliffhanger stuff to pick up. As we discussed, neither of us really understand what happened in that ending, but it was an ending, and the next movie would probably have to speak to it in some form. Mm-hmm. Whereas, we don't know what happened when Loomis went back into Smith's Grove.
Right.
Other than him screaming. He might have seen a mouse.
Well, for all we know, he saw the mask and the green blood and was like, oh, mercy.
Look how badly William Shatner's aged. Yeah. So, but both are potentially, because this, again, the tradition of this, one of the traditions of this series is that the last movie fucks over the next guy who has
Right.
to take the rounds directorially. And I think luckily the theatrical cut
Did
of
you
Halloween
include that?
6... Huh?
Did you include a fuck for the next movie?
I don't even know if I got that far into the movie.
Okay.
I think... I don't know if it's a good idea to fuck over the next guy.
Of course, it's not a good idea, but it seems to be the legacy of these movies.
It's the legacy of these movies, but it's kind of an unwanted legacy. It led to Halloween 5 and Halloween 6.
That's true.
You know, and if you look at how Halloween tees up Halloween 2 perfectly,
Of course.
and how do I argue my way out of this? Halloween. Well, okay, I'll say this. Halloween 4 has the right approach to ignoring enough of Halloween 2 to make Halloween 4 work.
Right.
You know. So either you ignore or you just pick up right from there. Which is kind of what I've done, actually.
Let me hear it.
You want me to start? You are the
Well-
bigger Halloween fan.
But before we start,
Oh.
I should probably tell you I did do 2.
A producer's cut?
No,
You have a producer's cut for your picture sequel?
I have a I have a what I would have done with Halloween 5 and
Oh.
a Halloween 7.
Okay. Oh, I think you got to go first then. I want to hear
So
what you...
what if I did my Halloween 5 first
Yes.
and then you go
Yeah.
and then I'll do mine? Does
'Cause
that sound all right?
I can't imagine how you'd make Halloween 5 better, so I'm all ears. According to you, that's how I feel. It's not actually how I feel.
that did elicit the laugh that I think you wanted. And stuck me a little bit. Appropriately. I unfairly characterized you as a Halloween 5 lover.
I was just arguing that, you know, that man could direct a movie if he wanted to, he just chose not to.
All right. Here's what I did.
Mm.
For starters, I'm just keeping the same title, even though there's not a revenge. I'll give him that. If I, you know
So
what I
far,
would
it really
do?
is a producer's cut. You're not solving any of the problems here.
So far, I would say Halloween 5, The Revenge. Cut it right there.
Okay.
All right?
Yeah, that's good.
All right.
Already a good change.
Jamie is, of course, at Smith's Grove.
Right.
She's got the vacant, staring at the wall, staring past the wall, staring to this night kind of stare going on.
Does she turn into Mrs. B in your version?
No, she does not. It's 2 years after she attacked and killed her mother.
They've had 2 years to make the movie. It's already better.
Right. So, it's been 2 years. Loomis has been trying to reach her for 2 years, and he's struggling to reach her.
Yeah.
Pataki
Nice.
is in this movie as well.
Good.
There is still this antagonistic relationship between him and Loomis,
Love it.
and he does not for a second need 25 more years of him saying a new person is evil. So he's not having it.
Right.
You won't see it, but there's going to be reference to somewhere around a year in, Jamie attacked a nurse.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Loomis starts to get the idea that Jamie is gone, but not lost. Like, he
Okay.
could get Jamie back.
Hmm.
And what he needs is Rachel.
Okay.
he finds Rachel in Haddonfield at the grave of her mother with her new boyfriend. You get a lot of exposition out of the way here.
It's funny because I immediately wanted to correct you then before I realized that she did die in Halloween 4.
Wait, what?
I wanted to because
Halloween.
Because
You mean the
Halloween
mother.
5
I thought
exists
you were
in the
talking
world.
about-
I wanted to say no, she survived. No, she died. That's where Michael's picking up from. She died.
Right. So Loomis goes, the narrative reason, not that it's a big thing, but he goes to Rachel's house.
Mm-hmm.
Her father's there. Her father tells her where she is. Not that you're going to see any of that, but that's how he finds her at the cemetery.
Okay.
She's there with her new boyfriend, staring at the headstone of her mother. Loomis appears. He's like, I need you. She says, I do not want to help you. I haven't seen Jamie in 2 years. What would make you think I'd want to see her now? All the stuff that we talked about in Halloween 5 that wasn't there, that was just like not discussed. It's not a problem. She stabbed her mom. Will be this, a focal point.
Right.
Loomis is at this point kind of begging her, I can get her back, but I have to have you. And she just kind of flat out says no.
Wow.
Meeker shows up.
Mm-hmm.
Happened to be driving by, sees Loomis. He's like, what the fuck are you doing here? And he said, I'm just here to blah, 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 blah. Like, it's a doctor-patient thing. It's not a Michael Myers thing. He goes, good, because we don't need you in this town. Now, meanwhile, well, I might have even got ahead of myself because I was wrestling with like a cold open of doing the sequel thing of you see basically the way Halloween 5 starts where you see the end.
Yeah.
Instead of dynamite down the hatch,
Down the mine,
down the mine shaft, I was thinking of like you kind of see the cars leaving, everything leaving.
Mm-hmm.
Basically to intimate that the sheriff and Donald Pleasance have taken the kids home to their parents.
Right.
Because you have that scene at the end of 4 where they're like, Michael Myers is dead. It's where he belongs.
Mm-hmm.
So that it just shows that they're gone.
Yeah.
But you have deputies like looking down into the shaft and like have somebody go down on a rope trying to look for the body. No body. And they just never tell anybody.
Are these the clown cops from
No.
Halloween 5?
Well, you either...
When they descend, does it go parp, 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 parp?
Well, the choice is... Because I got to justify why they're saying Michael Myers is dead at the end of Halloween 4.
Yeah. No, I like it.
That's why.
You can have... See, idiot cops are a great plot function.
Yeah.
You just don't need the clown car sound.
At any rate, at this point, you get now more of Rachel and her new boyfriend, and her boyfriend is talking to her, and he's like, you've already told me that you felt guilty about not seeing Jamie. Why didn't you go? And she's like, I don't think I can. I don't think I can do it. I don't think I want to. She killed my mother.
Yeah.
And he said, yeah, but if she's not all the way gone and you could help, like, don't you think you should? So anyway, you're going to have this moment. Pataki is mad at Loomis. He's like, I don't want any of this shit anymore. And in the middle of their argument, Rachel shows up.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to have scenes of her actually talking with Jamie. Jamie starts to like, something comes of her visiting.
Okay.
Right then, Pataki is like, Loomis, I'm going to do anything I can to fire you. You're done. I'm going home. By the end of the week, I'm going to have you out of here. He's attacked and killed by Michael Myers.
Whoa.
Michael Myers gets into Smith's Grove,
Yeah.
but we're not going to stay there the whole time. But we're not going to stay in the hospital. So, long story long, they're going to escape. They're going to come back to Haddonfield. They're going to be chased by Michael Myers. In the end, both Loomis... Well, with Loomis, we'll probably do the Loomis appears to be killed but isn't.
Yeah.
So he's probably attacked by Michael Myers,
Mm-hmm.
stabbed, bludgeoned, axe to the head, thrown through a window, but somehow he'll live.
Lands on
But-
some mousetraps.
Yeah, but who does die is Rachel
Oh, but at the end of the movie.
at the end of the movie to sacrifice for Jamie. Jamie, in that moment, the only thing that makes me uncomfortable is the clear allusion to Friday the 13th Part 4, the Corey Feldman die.
Yeah.
But she's going to get a knife and she'll be on top of Michael and be stabbing and stabbing and stabbing and stabbing and stabbing until he's not moving,
Right.
which is when Meeker shows up.
Mm-hmm.
He sees her standing over his body, knife in hand, blood all over the place. She just says, "Sheriff." Cut to black, roll credits.
Is that the first time she's spoken in the movie, or are you dispensing with the mute?
I'm dispensing with the no talking.
Okay.
But she wasn't really talking until Rachel showed up.
Right.
So that's my Halloween 5.
Yeah. That works.
Not too shabby.
Not too shabby at all, no. I thought you were going to say, I did think your Sheriff Mika would come in and see her stabbing Michael and go, all right, you're free to go. And she's just let loose to kill
Outta here.
serial killers across the country.
Right. Well, so
And that's Halloween 6.
All I'm trying to set up is it looked like Jamie was on the path to becoming Jamie again.
Hmm.
And it's, it's basically, it's just like, worse, it's the end of Halloween 4 again. Like, is she
Yeah.
evil now? Or does
That's
she just
it.
dispense with the evil and is she okay?
You've spent an entire movie to get to the point that the real Halloween 5 begins.
Yeah.
Okay. Which is what they should have done.
All right.
So it's like Halloween 4.5.
There you go. Go ahead, sir.
Okay.
I'm
Clearly
excited
you-
for
Huh?
I'm excited for these Halloween 7s.
Oh, don't get too excited. Clearly you were more worried about infringing on the Friday the 13th copyright than I was when I wrote this pitch. Because the title of my Halloween sequel is Halloween 7
In
Michael
Manhattan? In Manhattan?
Halloween 7 Michael Goes to Heaven.
Like all dogs?
Or yeah, I guess the elephant in the title is Jason Goes to Hell.
Right.
Jason goes to hell, Michael goes to
this is
heaven,
great.
Freddy goes to purgatory. Or is he
great.
in purgatory?
It's so this is going to be a it's not his fault Curse of Thorns story. Your Honor, set this man free.
Yes and no. Yes and
This
no.
whole court is out of order.
Right. So we pick up from the theatrical ending to Halloween, The Curse of Michael Myers.
Mm-hmm.
We'll probably show Loomis going back into Smith's Grove after saying goodbye to Kara and Tommy and little Danny. And he goes back into Smith Grove to find Michael Myers laying out on the floor, and on top and standing over him, Reverend Jack Sayer. And we get the Loomis scream that ends Halloween: The Curse of Michael Myers, that we heard in audio form only, because he sees that Reverend Jack Sayer is exorcising a demon from Michael Myers. And Reverend Jack Sayer says, I've been hunting for this demon for years. And when I met you, you set me on the right road, and I finally found him. And Loomis, terrified, says, don't let that demon get out of him! You don't know where it's gonna go! Hence his screaming.
Right.
And, Loomis, who, is immediately thrown back into his Halloween 4 to 5 persona, pulls a gun, shoots Reverend Jack Sayer to try and prevent the exorcism happening. But it's too late, and he
finally goes full rogue.
Yeah, shoots Reverend Jack Sayer dead, but the demon is gone from Michael Myers. The Cult of Thorn curse, which is now a demon, and that's fine. We never really knew what it was anyway, so I'm making it a demon.
There you go.
Within the same cold open, we see a young teenage girl working at a homeless shelter nearby Smith's Grove, and she's been in the soup kitchen all night. She's got all her kitchen knives and things, taking them back home. She's waiting for her father to pick her up, but he's not there, so she's standing outside in the dark in a not too good area of Smith's Grove town land. Illinois. And she's set upon by a couple of street thugs who are, potential rapists, muggers. As they approach her, the demon that had inhabited Michael Myers enters her body, and we can show this through the Cult of Thorn tattoo. Can make that work for us, finally. And she immediately pulls out one of the kitchen knives she used in the soup kitchen that she just came from, and stabs them all to death.
Damn.
At that very second, her father arrives. Her father, who is the local priest in Smith's Grove Townville. Saint.
You heard me.
Saint Smithson Grove. He arrives and he sees what's happening, and being religious, he understands. He has a sense of she's been possessed by a demon. But we strongly suggest, I don't know how you would do it dramatically, that he's gonna cover up her crime. He takes it away, he wipes the knife off, whatever, however you want to suggest it. Okay. Time lapse. A year.
You and your time lapses.
We do the time lapse with the titles, which are like newspaper. It's like it's the soup kitchen where she was, and someone's making pumpkin soup, and they're cutting up the pumpkin on newspapers, and the newspaper clippings are telling us that Michael Myers has been brought to trial. We sort of see a montage of newspaper clippings which show two things. They show that Michael has gone to trial, sentenced to death, and is now on death row. While parallel to this, Dr. Loomis has had his book about Michael Myers published, and it's now a bestseller.
Oh,
okay? So the next time...
We're in similar territory.
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah.
So the next thing we see, it's like a year and a half later. Actually, no. It has to be Halloween, doesn't it? So let's do a year. Let's do a year. A year later, yeah. Why stop now? A year later, Michael is Dr. Loomis is visiting Michael on death row. Michael now is a real human being. He is literally, the demon has been removed from him. He talks. He understands. He can relate. He's read all the books about him, and that's all he knows about the crimes he's committed. And he's read Loomis's book, and Loomis talks to him, and he understands that he was possessed by a demon, and it's gone. It's gone to heaven. No, the demon's gone. And Michael's so said, I read all these books about me, all these newspaper articles, and you're the only one who has different information. You're the only one who said that I didn't kill those street thugs near Smith's Grove. That was part of the list of crimes. But you said I didn't do that, and you said that the demon was exorcised for me and it passed into someone else, and they did it. And Loomis says, "Oh, they wouldn't let me publish that part." So what he'd actually given to Michael was an unpublished proof of the book, and no one in the wider world knows that because the publisher didn't think it would go over well because it absolved Michael of all blame.
Mm-hmm.
So, he says to Michael, he says, I believe you're innocent now and you shouldn't be going to death row, and I've tried to stop your execution happening, but it's going to happen. And he gives him a cigarette. He says, I understand these are currency in here. And he said, beware, these have an odd scent. And what he's given him is like a cyanide cigarette out of Dr. No, the movie Dr. No, and allows Michael to sort of commit suicide before he's executed in his cell, because he understands Michael is innocent.
James Bond rears its ugly head.
But he makes Michael a promise that he will track down the demon that's inside him and find who the new host for his demon is and stop them. And he's already started his detective work. And the next scene is we see Michael kind of ascending to heaven like an angel, David Lynch style. And then we go to we go to the local parish of St. Smiths of Groveville land, and the dad that we saw covering up the crime, who Loomis, through a process of detection, has discovered was there at the murder scene and covered up the crime. And he was like, well, who committed the murder? And he finally admits, it was my daughter. He said, and I understand what's happened. I understand that she's possessed by a demon, but what I've done is I've taken her to a monastery that my brother runs out in the wild roaming hills of St. Smiths and Grovenland. And she's living like she's in a prison, basically. It's like, she's my daughter. I can't kill her. I can't exorcise this demon. So she's just living under seclusion in this monastery. And it's the day before Halloween. And so Loomis realizes it's like, and he said, she's under control. She hasn't done anything in this whole time. She hasn't even uttered a word. She's not shown no violent impulse. And Loomis realizes, because it's Halloween is coming up, and that's when they kill. So he rushes out, drives out to this monastery, and then the rest of the movie is like a kind of haunted house. This young girl who, I don't know what we want to call her, Michaela. Because it has to like, the demon has to find itself a host that has
it's dependent on the name,
a name derived.
It's got to be Michael derivative.
Yes, exactly. And it's, can Loomis get there in time? How many monks is she going to kill? Is she going to get out of her seclusion? So it's Loomis and the priest versus Michaela.
Loomis and the priest sounds like a good 80s cop show.
Yeah, in this secluded monastery in a kind of rural Smithsville Grove. And that's it. That's as far as I got.
All right.
Because I didn't want to
All right.
I didn't want to fuck over the next guy, and they're gonna, if they got any sense, they'll ignore me anyway.
Yo, you fucked over the next guy.
I did?
Michael Myers Goes to Heaven.
Yeah.
You're announcing there will be no more Michael Myers.
Michaela Myers now.
Perfect.
There's a
I
female
love it.
There's a female Doctor Who. There's a female Captain Marvel. It's time for Michaela Myers. So there you go.
To have her time to shine. Well done. All right. My follow-up to Halloween, parentheses 6, open parentheses 6, close parentheses, The Curse of Michael Myers. Strap in.
Yeah.
Halloween 7, Millennium.
Okay.
Halloween 6 took place in 1995.
Yes.
We are in October of the year 2000.
Right.
We are going to open in the same store that Jamie got her costume from in Halloween 4.
The store that has everything.
The store that has everything, now called Wade's Store.
Okay.
Wade is the guy who's told to fuck off.
Oh, that's right.
This is his place now. Little Easter egg.
Wade got his revenge.
Yeah.
There was no revenge for Michael Myers, but Wade got his
You
revenge.
got to get that actor back.
He got his revenge on the female gender.
There you
Now
go.
they have to come to him to get their sanitary products.
So it's we're gonna open in the store, and you're gonna see him milling about, and some lady's gonna walk past a lone, we'll call Michael Myers mask, and she's gonna say, "This makes me sick. Like, how could you sell this mask?" And he's going to say, "It was shipped to us on accident. We only got the one. I'm just trying to get rid of it." And she said, "Just throw it away." And he's like, "I got to do this." Or, well, it can't be one because we'll have to say he had to buy a lot, So he's trying to get rid of them.
Mm-hmm.
This is the last one. She walks out
That's
in a
good.
huff, and suddenly a man that you can only see from shoulders down at best is walking through the store, and people are seeing his face and not liking what they see. They're like, "Ooh." Like Halloween 4, you're going to see a hand grab that mask, and he's going to start walking out, but he does this right in front of Wade, and he sees that he's grabbed the mask, and he's walking straight back towards the front door. But his back was turned when he actually grabbed the mask. So now this figure, the shape, has turned his back to him and is walking back out. And he's just kind of watching him, and he goes, "Excuse me. Hey, where are you going? Excuse me, you gotta buy that." And all of a sudden he kind of starts jogging towards him, and he kind of loudly says, "Hey!" And then the figure turns around, and he sees what he's seeing in this face. No words spoken. You don't as the audience see the face.
Yeah.
You just see his reaction to it, and
good choice.
He just says, "Keep it."
I thought you were going to say Michael is going to break his silence, and his first words were going to be, "Wade, fuck off."
Fuck off, Wade.
That'd be great.
That would be great. But what you are going to see is him turn around. Right when he's at the front door, he's just going to put the mask on, and he's going to start walking out, and Wade kind of follows him to the front door and watches him walking away. And you're going to see all the people looking at this man in the mask like, "What a dick.
Yeah.
You're an asshole. What
Too
kind of
soon.
person does that?
Too soon.
Guy driving by in the car is going to be like, "Fuck you."
Yeah.
Wade's going to come back to the counter, and she's going to say, the person working with him is going to say, "Why'd you let him go?" And he's going to say, "Did you see that guy?" And she said, "Yeah, that was terrible." And he's going to say, "For all I know, that is Michael Myers." Title card, Halloween 7 Millennium. We're off to the races. All right. That's our cold open.
It's good. It's very good.
Where we're going to be is Tommy Doyle.
Shades of Rise of the Machines.
Your love of the Rise of the Machines.
Hey, this is very similar to how
All
Arnie
right.
gets his clothes in that movie.
Well, Tommy Doyle and Kara Strode, they are a couple now. Tommy is a best-selling author.
Okay.
Kara is a psychiatrist, because that's what she was studying, right?
Yeah, psychology, absolutely.
Psychology, right.
Mhm.
So he has written the definitive book instead of, in your movie, Loomis.
Right.
He has written the definitive book on Michael Myers. It was a runaway bestseller.
Mm-hmm.
He's about to bring down his second book,
Mm.
which is going to explain more about the Curse of Thorn, the ruins, what the stars have to tell us, the legends. And the legend is going to be that Michael Myers can be killed, but only at the turn of the century,
Oh.
in the dawn of a new millennium.
Mm-hmm.
So
great.
at a book signing, people are going to be asking him questions. They're going to be like, so what's going to happen? Are you going to do this? And he said, well, I've contacted the authorities in Haddonfield. If Michael is ever going to show his face again, it's going to be this year. Oh, I almost forgot. During our title sequence, I'm gonna go ahead and not use our time machine. I'm gonna respect Donald Pleasant's death and say he's not in this movie. We're gonna see
That's a
like
first.
newspaper. No,
Respecting Donald Pleasance's death in this franchise, that's a first.
We're gonna see newspaper articles, kind of like Halloween H2O style,
Mm-hmm.
of Dr. Loomis missing, Dr. Loomis presumed dead. He's just never seen again. Michael Myers not to be found. Michael Myers on the loose.
Yeah.
4 years in a row of Haddonfield, no Michael Myers. Blah, 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 blah. Now, because it's 5 years later, Kara's son should be in the neighborhood of 15, 16.
Yeah. Oh, well, it could literally be any age with this franchise, so
True.
you
But
don't need to respect that.
I'm choosing to respect that. And the small boy that they took with them, Jamie's child, is going to be 5.
I totally forgot about that kid.
Yeah. So they have taken on raising this child, and the child's 5 years old.
Mm.
The authorities in Haddonfield will not get back to Tommy. And lo and behold, one person that shows up at his book signing is Lindsay Wallace.
Yeah.
And she's going to say, I think it has to be us. So they're going to go back to Haddonfield. Kara doesn't like this. She says, I'm not going without you, or you're not going without me. But they also don't want to leave their children
Yeah.
at home, so everybody goes to Haddonfield.
Hmm.
And basically, they're going to put the kids up in a big hotel. I have a big set piece of Michael getting into the hotel, chasing them, because we haven't seen a hotel in the series yet.
No, that's right.
So Michael's killing people in the hotel. A good chunk of this movie's going to take place in the hotel.
That's funny.
And
We're both exploiting buildings that have yet to appear.
right.
Monastery and hotel.
Exactly. So, suffice to say, by the end,
Michael's in an airport.
right. Tommy, Kara, and Lindsay. Lindsay will probably die, but Tommy and Kara are
Go
going
back
to
to Real
succeed
Housewives.
in killing Michael Myers. Newspaper articles. Now he's a hero. Michael Myers is wheeled out. He's at another book signing. The movie's going to end with a book signing, and everybody's going to be applauding him, and this is great and wonderful. And then somebody's going to stand up, and he's going to say, now, didn't you say in your book that Michael Myers can only be killed at the start of a new millennium?
No.
And he's going to say, yeah. And he's going, well, the new millennium doesn't start until the next year. And he's going to look up. Michael Myers is at the window. He's going to be like, everybody get out of here. Cut to black.
So this is your narrative twist is an adaptation of the Newmanium episode of Seinfeld.
Exactly. It's
where Newman books the wrong date.
Stupid enough for this franchise.
Oh.
Come on.
All right.
You love it.
Yeah, I think I do. I do love it very much.
It's a delight.
Mm-hmm. And Michael Myers is alive at the end of yours.
Indeed he is.
And not in heaven.
I chose not to send Michael Myers to heaven. Thank you.
Hasn't he suffered enough?
I want Michael Myers to go on. And
It's
then
funny.
I also,
Yeah.
I couldn't decide, is it, a day or two later when this is happening, or is it the next Halloween when he's giving that final speech? Either, so it's like, if it's a day or two later, it's not Halloween anymore, but...
It took it took them a year to remember that they had the wrong year.
Exactly.
Well, that's true, You don't people do things late.
But by then, it would be 2001.
Yeah.
So we could start all over.
Interesting that you've got Tommy and Lindsay,
Yeah.
like the new Halloween Kills.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought it's kind of hilarious. Something we've been charting throughout doing this series is like Halloween Kills, tells the story of the Halloween series better than the originals. Who are we bringing back? Tommy Doyle.
Right.
And we're adding Lindsay Wallace.
How could we not?
Yeah. Mistakes? What mistakes? Just hilarious. I'm so surprised that Paul Rudd could still play Tommy Doyle, couldn't he?
Totally.
Anthony Michael Hall, I'm sure, will be excellent, but could still be Paul Rudd.
I love that choice, though.
Well, he's an amazing actor who's
I
never
love
quite
Anthony
got
Michael
his due.
Hall.
Yeah.
Yeah. We need more of him in our lives.
It's just a shame they couldn't get the original guy,
Right.
considering they...
Didn't they try?
Yeah, they did try, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, clearly, if you're going to cast, if you're going to have a reality star leading your movie, they obviously care more about authenticity than talent. I was very worried when I saw that trailer with her running into the playground at night.
Right.
It's like she's looking around for a latte. I don't know how to do this without Andy Cohen looking at me. Anyway, we'll see.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you decide what you like best. Which sequel would you like to see? If you like Tom's,
Yeah.
Michael Myers Goes to Heaven.
Halloween 7, Michael Myers Goes to Heaven.
I know. Sorry, my bad.
No, it's fine.
It's a rhyme, too. Halloween 7, Michael Myers Goes
Some
to
would
Heaven.
say just a rhyme, but, or even Busta Rhymes. What?
What? I suppose you have two to choose for me. By all means.
Maybe I'll when I put the poll up, maybe I'll give the choice of sequels, and I'll give it. There'll be an additional. Do you want Michael to remake Halloween 5 as well?
There you go. That's the way we'll do it.
So you'll get a sense of like whether people just liked your sequel or whether people would wish you have to been
more control over the Halloween series.
Yes, right.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you tell us. Find us on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. Please send us an email to everythingsequel@gmail.com. For Tom Stewart of Lonesome Whistle Productions, Michael Shantz here of the How Dare You Awards. We'll be coming at you next time with a brand new series. I think we're kind of excited about it, don't you?
I could not be more excited.
I know. If you just think of, other than James Bond, think of the series that has the most references in this podcast. You'll be able to figure it out.
That is not Terminator.
True. All
Well,
right.
I only really mentioned Rise of the Machines.
I love that of those two sequels, of those that first trilogy, the one you always mention is Rise of the Machines. You have nothing to say about Terminator 2.
I've never been more off the critical consensus than I have been about that movie.
All right, say goodbye, Tom.
Where do you want to sleep, Dr. Chalice?
That's not part of this movie.
So? Part of the best Halloween sequel.
No, you've got that wrong.
So wrong it's right. Like Halloween 3.
Yeah, well, you gathered me, you got me onto your side on that one.
Anyway, this is Derek Smith from Stonehenge.
So long, everybody. If you like podcasts like I do, boy, do I have a treat for you. You need to
stay on target
and check out the Sounds in Cinema podcast. Listen as your host, sound designer and music creator Tony Parham, and co-host, musical performer and sound lover Derek Hansen, D-Rock if you're nasty, and I am, discuss all things sound related to film, television, stage, and theatrical productions. They discuss environmental sounds, bioacoustics, dialogue, the nature of communication through sound, but as an added bonus, they drink beer and try to
stay on target.
Find them wherever you get your podcasts and listen to the pure mania of a man who can charitably be described as Doug, the dog from Up, and another man with a soothing and sultry voice trying to get that man to
stay on target.
That's the Sounds in Cinema podcast. Tune in and listen to the sounds they are creating just for you.